Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aubrey. I'm so happy to have you all here today. So today we are going to have a book haul. It is now the first week in September. I'm actually filming this on September 1st, so it is time to go through all of the books that I got during the month of August. So as usual, we're going to go through these according to where I got them from. So we're actually going to start with some books that I got from Books A Million. So the first one that I have here on my stack is book 6 of The Husky and His White Cat Shizen, or Arha Hata the Bai Mao Shizen by Ro Bao Buchiro. And so this is book 6. I can't go over the synopsis for this one specifically, but I am collecting this series like as the volumes are released. I have read the first one so far. And essentially in this story, it is a Dawn Mei, so it is translated from Chinese, and we follow Chu Wanning and Mo Run. And Mo Run, at the beginning of the first book, is actually kind of the emperor of the entire, like, known world, so like all of China. But he is very unhappy, and he actually ends up taking his own life and wakes up in the past when he is still a disciple at this cultivation sect. And so he decides to use this like new opportunity, this second chance, to kind of get back at all of the people that he thinks have wronged him, to make his life turn out the way that he wants it to be. But as he's going along, one of the people that he wants to get back at is his shizen, or his like teacher in this cultivation group, Chu Wanning. Chu Wanning. And however, as he is going through and reliving certain events with this hindsight that he now has, he's realizing that maybe there have been some misunderstandings and some things that he's actually gotten wrong, as far as like other people's motivations and their actions, that he may have misinterpreted them or gotten incorrect information. So that's kind of how it starts. I will say at the beginning of that first book, I was not a huge fan of Mo Run. I was kind of afraid I wasn't going to like the story, and I was like, this may just have to be one that's not for me. But by the time I got to the end of the book, I was enjoying it much more, even though there are lots of questionable choices being made by our main character. But I enjoy it enough that I want to continue the series and find out what happens. So as these are being released, I'm just pre-ordering them, and this is the most recent one to come out, is book 6. And the art on the covers is just so pretty, but I'm excited to see what's happening because the covers are getting progressively like more and more romantic, I think. So this is one that I want to continue. I need to get to it. I need to keep reading it. I think subconsciously I've been kind of waiting until it like the end is in sight because I don't know how many books are going to be in this series. And I haven't been able to find it online, like officially how many are going to be in the English release. So I don't know. I don't know when I'll continue it, but I do definitely want to, and I really like collecting these 7 Seas releases. They're just really pretty, they're illustrated, I just really like them. Then the next book that I got from Books A Million in the month of August is another one that I had on pre-order, and oh, I'm so sorry, these are Barnes & Noble books, not Books A Million. So The Husky and His White Cat Shizen was from Barnes & Noble, and these are also from Barnes & Noble. I am so sorry. But the next one that I got from Barnes & Noble is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of Kiki's Delivery Service. And again, this was a pre-order that I ordered a while ago, and it has really cute sprayed edges. It's so cute. I love the Studio Ghibli movie that is based off of this book, and I've never actually read the original source material. So when I saw that they had this up for pre-order, and I think it was on sale because Barnes & Noble was having one of their pre-order sales, I went ahead and ordered it, and I'm so excited to have it. It's really short. I think it's going to be really, really cute. And I will read the synopsis on the back for you. Soar into the modern classic that inspired Hayao Miyazaki's animated film. Half-witch Kiki never runs from a challenge. So when her 13th birthday arrives, she's eager to follow a witch's tradition, find a new town to call home for 1 year. Brimming with confidence, Kiki flies off to the seaside village of Koriko, expecting that her powers will easily bring happiness to the townspeople. But gaining the trust of the locals and finding success is trickier than she expected. With her faithful, wisecracking black cat, Gigi, by her side, Kiki faces new challenges and forges new friendships, ultimately realizing that magic can be found in even the most ordinary places. Blending fantasy with the charm of everyday life, this new translation of Eiko Kadono's beloved classic will bewitch the hearts of new readers and dedicated fans alike. So this edition is translated by Emily Balistrieri. And I'm just really excited to read it. Like I said, I love the Studio Ghibli film. It is so cute. And even though this is a book about a witch, that movie definitely always makes me think of spring and summer. So I do think I'm probably going to save this book for next spring. But yeah, I love it. It's so heartwarming and sweet, and it's all about like finding yourself as you grow up and you realize that the world is not always as easy as you think it's going to be, but still realizing that there is still magic and goodness and good things out there, even with all the difficulties that come with growing up. And it's just so good. I love the movie, so I'm really excited to read this one. Okay, these next two that I got from Barnes & Noble were also pre-orders that I ordered during one of their pre-order sales, and I'm so excited to have them. So for those of you who have not seen my previous videos, one of my kind of like quests is to collect all of the editions of Tolkien's works that I can. And so now I have 2 new ones to add to my collection. So I have the new collector's editions of The Hobbit and The Silmarillion. And look at how pretty and shiny. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. And then the back just has the same sort of design as like a border to it. And they both have sprayed edges, so they like alternate colors, and they're just so nice. I'm so excited to have these. I love J.R.R. Tolkien. He's one of my favorite authors of all time. And if you don't know, The Hobbit is like the prequel. I forgot the word for a second. It's like the prequel to The Lord of the Rings. So it essentially goes over Bilbo Baggins's journey with the dwarves of Erebor to go and try to reclaim the mountain from the dragon Smaug, who has run them out, taken over the mountain, and along the way how the Ring of Power comes into play. And if you don't know, Bilbo is Frodo's uncle who ends up raising him. So Frodo is one of the main characters in The Lord of the Rings. And it's just so good. I love The Hobbit so much. And then the Silmarillion is like the prequel to The Hobbit. This was published later, I think posthumously. I think Tolkien had already passed away when this was published, but this goes over the first and second ages of the world of Arda, specifically Middle Earth, which is the continent, the area in which The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings take place. So the Silmarillion talks about the creation of the world. It talks about all of the wars and the creation of the different races and everything that leads up to the Third Age, which is when The Hobbit and Middle Earth take place. And I love it. It's great. And there are going to be matching editions of the 3 books in The Lord of the Rings that are coming out, I think, next month. It's either next month or October. And I did pre-order those when I pre-ordered these, so when they arrive, I will have an entire matching set of them, and I'm just so excited. They're so beautiful. And they're like cloth bound. Yeah, they're really nice. And the last book that I got from Barnes & Noble during the month of August is book 1 of Peerless. Oh gosh, I cannot remember what it's called in Chinese. Wushuang. So Peerless or Wushuang. And this is the second series in the Thousand Autumns, like, universe. I haven't read Thousand Autumns. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to. If I really like this, I probably will. But I did see some stuff about like the main relationship in Thousand Autumns that I wasn't a big fan of personally, so I'm not sure if if I will read that, but I do want to try this one because it sounds good. And this is by Meng Shi, A Murdered Envoy, A Stolen Treasure. On a snowy night, an envoy sent by the kingdom of Khotan is ambushed on the road, massacred with his escort. Not a living soul remains, and the attackers vanish, along with a precious jade intended as tribute to the Emperor of Sui. A member of the Emperor's secret intelligence agency, the Zhejian Bureau, pursues the case. The formidable deputy chief, Feng Xiao. His investigation takes him to Liugong City, where top martial artists from across the land gather for a mysterious auction. But a rival intelligence agency, the Zoye Bureau, has business in the same city, and they have sent Cui Buchu, an ailing but brilliant man who hides more secrets than even Feng Xiao. Equally proud, the two immediately clash in a battle of wits, but neither can crack the case alone. To solve the mystery before the trail goes cold, they will have to join hands to uncover the truth, however unwillingly. Okay, so again, this is a Don Mei. It's translated from Chinese. I will apologize now if I said any of those names incorrectly. A lot of the time in these English translations, the pinyin doesn't have the accent marks, so I just kind of have to give it my best guess as to how to say it. There is usually a pronunciation guide in the back for characters' names, but I'm afraid to look right now because I haven't started it and I don't want to accidentally see any spoilers for characters' identities and stuff, so I apologize if I said anything wrong. I promise I'm trying my best. But yeah, I think that this sounds really interesting, it sounds fun, and I'm excited to try it. Now we're getting into the books from Books A Million. So the first book that I got from Books A Million in August is this mass market paperback edition of The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. This is the first book in the Chronicles of Ozreth, and I love The Goblin Emperor so much. It's another one of those that I've just tried to collect all the editions of just because I love it so, so dearly. But in this story, we follow Maya, who is the half-goblin, half-elven youngest son of the emperor of the, elvish empire. And he's he is very much mistreated, not exactly disowned because he is still a member of the royal family, but his father very much looks down on him. There's a lot of prejudice in their society against the goblin race, and Maya is the product of a political union, so, his dad wasn't exactly happy about that, wasn't happy about Maya being, produced from this union. So after Maya's mom dies, Maya kind of has lived a life of isolation with a cousin who is very cruel to him, and he's not raised in court. I mean, he is given some education kind of to keep up appearances, I think, but he's definitely not raised in court. But at the beginning of the story, he gets a message that his father and all of his older brothers, so everyone who is before him in the line of succession for the throne, have died in an airship accident. And so now Maya suddenly finds himself the emperor. And also with this added element of his father and brothers, and he didn't know any of his brothers. They were all from his father's first marriage, so they were all fully elven, and he didn't know any of them. Trying to deal with that, that sense of how should I feel about this? But also there is a possibility that the accident in which that killed them wasn't actually an accident. So is his life now in danger? So I love the Goblin Emperor. I love Maya's character. He is so sweet and good-hearted, and I love the relationships in here, and it's just so good. It is such a good story. So I'm really happy to have this new little edition. It's so cute. Alright, then I also got a couple of books from Books A Million during their sale that's been going on for the last few weeks. So they have been having a 50% off sale, and they added in some additional books to it, which made me happy because there wasn't a whole lot in there that I really wanted to spend money on at the moment. And I shouldn't really be spending any money on books, but these are 50% off, so I did get 3 books in that sale. And the first one is Evergreen by Devin Greenlee. All 17-year-old Quill wants is a break from the family business. Flowers, plants, the generation's old garden. What he wouldn't give for a taste of the outside world. Normalcy. But his mom won't let him out of the house, telling him he's just not ready. All because he's a dryad. Well, not just any dryad, but a male dryad, the first ever. And unlike everyone else in his family, he hasn't a lick of magic. Just a shock of green hair, matching green eyes, and a growing frustration that there's an entire world out there waiting to be discovered. Until the night when the outside world, specifically his new neighbor, discovers him. Liam Watson lives in a culture filled with electronics, mobile devices, and social media, where there is no magic or even the belief in it. And as much as Quill finds Liam irritating, he's so cute it's annoying, he can't help himself. Now Quill's getting a taste of the outside world and of Liam, and he wants more. But all is not well in this magical urban garden, and someone, or something, is changing the very essence of it. And wherever Quill goes, the danger grows. So yeah, I don't know a ton about this book. I know that it was one of Rainbow Crate Book Box's picks several months ago. And I just thought it seems really cute. I like the idea of like nature magic. So having a dryad or a family of dryads perhaps sounds very interesting. And we also have some romance, and I don't know, like I said, I don't really know much about it. I just think it sounds cute. And it was 50% off, so there you go. Then another one that I also got for 50% off is The Ghost Cat by Alex Howard. This looks so cute and also like it's really going to make me cry. Early morning, 1902. At 77 Marchmont Crescent. Eyelid? The char lady tips coal into a fire grate and sets it alight. Overhearing, Grimalkin the cat ambles over to curl up against the welcome heat and lick his favorite human's hand. But this is to be his last day on Earth, before he becomes the ghost cat. Follow Grimalkin as he witnesses the changes of the next 120 years, prowling unseen among the inhabitants of an Edinburgh tenement while unearthing some startling revelations about the mystery of existence, the unstoppable march of time, and the true meaning of feline companionship. Okay, yeah. Like I said, I think this is going to be both heartwarming and heartbreaking, and it's going to make me cry, but that's okay. I love cats so much, so books about cats really get me and also really make me want to read them. So I'm so excited to try this, and it's been kind of like on my radar since I first heard about it. So when I saw Books A Million put it on, like included in their sale, I was really excited. So yes, there it is. And also look at how pretty the cover is. It's so pretty. Okay, I got a little warm. I had to take my cardigan off. So then the next book that I got at Books A Million, before we get to that last book from that 50% off sale, is actually one that I've already read. So it was one that I had on pre-order. And as soon as it came in, I read book 2 in the series, and then this one, book 3, which was the final book in the series. And that is book 3 of Guardian, or Junhuan by Priest. So I have now finished this series. Again, this is a Don May, so it is translated. And there were some parts that I was like, I would have done that perhaps differently, but I did really like the story and seeing the conclusion to it, and the different characters' motivations and everything, and so it was really fun. But essentially, in this series, we follow our two main characters. Okay, Zhao Yunlun, and Shun Wei. So Zhao Yunlun is the director of the Special Investigations Department, which is a group in China that investigates supernatural mysteries. So crimes that are being committed by those in like the netherworld or underworld or supernatural community. And so they operate out of this city called Dragon City, which is a fictional city that exists in the story. And on one of their cases in the first book, they actually end up meeting a professor at Dragon City University named Shun Wei, who seems remarkably knowledgeable and aware of what's going on. And Zhao Yunlun instantly feels a connection to Shun Wei and likes him, but Shun Wei seems very resistant to their relationship while at the same time seeming to desire to spend time with him. And so there is like some memory loss, and there are ghosts, and there are zombies, and mythological characters and creatures. And it was a fun series. I definitely enjoyed it. And so this last volume, so Seven Seas, often with these Dawn May series, the last volume you'll have an option to get the special edition, which comes with some extra goodies. So I did do that, and this one came with 6 postcards that have the art from the front cover with little chibi illustrations on the back, as well as the interior, like, front art piece for each of the 3 books. And I love the little chibi pictures on the back. I think they're so cute. Like, look at them. They're so cute. And then it also came with some stickers of all the different characters. So we have Lin Jing, Shunwei, Zhao Yunlan, Zhu Hong, Chu Shuji, Da Qing, Ghostface, the Soul Executing Emissary, Kunlun, and Guo Chongchong. And then it came with 2 posters, which are quite pretty. So we have this one. And this one. And the last book that I got from Books A Million in August is Confounding Oaths by Alexis Hall. This is the 2nd book in Mortal Follies. I have not read the first book, but as far as I understand, they are standalones. I'm going to start with this one, and if I like it, I think I will read Mortal Follies then as well. It is the year 1815, and Mr. John Caesar is determined to help his sister Mary successfully navigate the marriage mart. A high-stakes endeavor at the best of times, this task is made slightly more difficult by his family's non-traditional background, the pernicious whims of the ton, and the ever-present complication of living in a world full of scheming fairies and capricious gods. Despite all that, John knows that his parents wish to see his sister comfortably settled. He also knows that the sooner he sees Mary's future secured, the sooner he can get his own wish, returning to an aristocratic life of leisure. And as for Mary, sweet, sensitive Mary just wishes gentlemen would pay as much attention to her as they do her younger sister. When Mary's all-too-literal wish puts her squarely in the sights of a malicious fairy godmother, John sets out to save her. This choice throws him into the path of Captain Orestes James, the handsome up-from-the-ranks hero of Wellington's armies, and his ragtag band of misfits. Together, John and the captain will venture into a vicious world of fey bargains and sacrificial magic as they draw ever closer to rescuing Mary, and to each other. While John is no stranger to casual dalliances with soldiers, until now he's never expected one to last, or wanted one to. He and the captain come from different worlds, and even if Orestes feels the same, John knows there's no point in wishing for something more between them. After all, John has learned firsthand that getting what you wish for can be a dangerous thing. But yeah, I think it sounds fun. I like my romances every so often, if you can't tell. And also, the thing that really got me from this book is the cover is just so pretty. And then when I read the back, I was like, yeah, nice synopsis to go with a pretty cover. It's 50% off. Why not? So now we're going to go over all of the books that I got from Crunchyroll during the month of August. So the first one is one that I have been waiting on for literal months. This book was supposed to come out in June, and the release date kept getting pushed back. And for a while, I didn't even, they weren't even updating the release date on Crunchyroll, so I was just thinking it was just delayed in shipping, and then it just kept being on pre-order. And so finally, by the end of July, I was like, what is going on? And I did a quick search and saw that the release date had been moved, and then it was moved again, and then it was moved again, and it finally came in August. But that is Volume 8 of A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation by Misaki. It's illustrated by Momochi, Lamp Maganote, and Sando. I love this series so much. It is so silly, but it is just such like a just cozy, comforting read for me. I just love it. It's so silly, and not everyone is gonna like it. It's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but it's just perfect for me, and I love the characters. And I've been waiting on this, although I wasn't too upset because I do want to wait until Volume 9 comes out, which is coming out later this year, and read them both together, because I do like to read manga volumes typically like at least have two of them to read, because they usually are quite short. And that way you just feel like you're getting a bit more all at once. So I am going to wait for Volume 9 to read this, but I was a little bit concerned because I was afraid maybe something had happened and it just like my order had messed up, or Crunchyroll's stock, something had happened to it. I didn't know. So I am happy to have it. But in this series, we follow Lizel, who is an advisor to the king in his country, but one day he wakes up in a place similar to his own, but different, and he realizes that he is in a different world. So this is an isekai story. And he meets Gil, who is an adventurer, and he hires Gil to help him kind of navigate this world and learn about it and kind of be his bodyguard in a way until he has figured things out. And he very quickly decides that he is going to use this time in this new world as a sort of vacation from his normal responsibilities and just do what he wants. So he decides to become an adventurer and join the Adventurers Guild. And it is so silly. Like, Gil and some of these characters, Gil and Eleven, are so overpowered. Like, so overpowered. But I'm okay with that. I actually enjoy a good OP character, honestly. And it's literally just about them going around, having adventures, meeting new people. I'm so happy to have this, and when Volume 9 gets here, eventually when it's released, I'll be able to read them together, and I'm so excited, because it's been a while since I read Volume 7, so I'm really excited to get back into this world. Then the next two that I have here were also pre-orders, and also part of series that I have started. So first we have the 8th light novel in The Case Files of Jeweler Richard by Nanako Sujimura. So I've read the first 2 light novels in this series and I enjoy them, so I am again collecting them as they're released and also collecting the manga volumes that are based off of these, so that way I can read the manga and enjoy the story in another format. But essentially in this story we follow Seigi, who's a college student, and one day he saves this guy, Richard, from being mugged, and he finds out that Richard is actually a jeweler who is from a different country, and he has come to Japan to set up a shop. So Seigi helps him, and then Richard helps Seigi with something that has to do with a ring that his grandmother left him. He was very close to his grandmother, and she left him this ring with the story of how she got it. And Seigi has had it since she passed away and has not been able to do with it what he wishes until he meets Richard, who is able to help him. And then after that, Seigi starts working at Richard's jewelry shop. And so each of the stories, each book, or at least the first 2, it's thundering outside, I don't know if you can hear that, but at least in the first 2, each of the books has various short stories within it that involve them dealing with a different client or a different person and a different jewel. So you get to learn stuff about gemstones, and you get to learn stuff about jewelry, and like grading gemstones and stuff. And I really like Seigi and Richard as characters. And I'm just curious to see how the story is going to progress. Like, if it's going to continue in this sort of episodic manner, or if we're going to get more interlocking plot lines. I don't know. And then the next one, which was also a pre-order, is also the last volume in a series. I read the first volume, and then I was able after a while to pick up the rest, but then by the time I got like volume 7 and 8, volume 9 was already like up for pre-order, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait till volume 9 comes out and just read all the last 8 all together and just kind of binge it. and that is Given by Natsuki Kizu. So again, I've read volume 1. I really enjoyed it. Given, we follow, oh gosh, I can't remember their names. Mafuyu. This is Mafuyu. And Uenoyama. Uenoyama is a guitarist in a band, and one day he meets Mafuyu at his school and realizes that Mafuyu can sing really, really well. And Mafuyu agrees to sing in the band if Uenoyama will teach him how to play guitar, because Mafuyu has a guitar that was left to him by his ex, who has passed away. And then we also have the other 2 members of the band, Haruki and Akihiko, who are a little bit older and have some things going on with them. And so the series is very much about the band, yes, thunder, but also about their different relationships with one another and their lives. And Mafuyu has a lot of trauma from the loss of his ex and how that happened. And it's so dealing with that. And I don't know, I just really like the first volume, but it's the only one I've read, so I don't really know a whole lot about what's going to happen. I just have some guesses, some predictions. But now that I have this final volume, I can just read the rest of it just all together. So that is my plan, and I'm planning to do that hopefully soon. I have a few other things that I kind of need to read first. Like my brother and some of our friends have started a book club, and I need to finish that book before we have the meeting. And then the rest of these books from Crunchyroll are actually a result of their summer sale, because I am weak. I do not have good self-control, and I did partake of the sale. So the first 2 are actually volumes of series that I am collecting that I do want to start. So I already have volumes 1 through 3, and so I got 4 and 5 so that I will be able to just read them together is my plan, and because they were like really cheap on this sale. But that is volume 4 and 5 of Haikyuu by Haruichi Furudate. So here we have volume 4 and volume 5. So Haikyuu I know is about a volleyball team, and that's about all I know. That's really like the extent of my knowledge, and I don't have volume 1 like right with me. It's all the way over there, and I really don't want to go get it right now to read the synopsis to you, but I know that we follow volleyball players. That's about all I've got. But Haikyuu is like one of those staple manga and staple anime that everyone seems to have enjoyed who's tried it. So I'm excited to try it. I do enjoy sports anime. I've never really read a sports manga before, but I do enjoy my sports anime, so I think I'm gonna like Haikyuu, especially because, like I said, it is so well loved. It's quite long though, so being able to get some volumes, I didn't overdo it. I didn't get like 10 more. But being able to get a few more on sale is nice, because Haikyuu is kind of a long series. So, but yeah, I'm excited to try it. And hopefully I enjoy it as much as everyone else and can then enjoy the anime as well. Then I got a one-shot called Love a Kitten and a Salty Dog by Ninko Nen. Look at how cute the cover is. Look at how cute the back cover is. It's so cute. Picking up strays and falling in love. Okura is a tough veterinarian who works at Kiniko Animal Hospital, right near the entertainment district. One day, a kind and earnest college student named Momo brings in a tiny kitten he found on the streets, and the 2 men grow closer as Okura helps Momo learn about cat parenthood. It isn't long until their conversations turn from pet care to their experiences with romance, as Okura finds himself wanting to get to know Momo better. Will their relationship grow into something more with a kiss? It sounds so cute, and I actually worked at a vet's office for a while when I got out of undergrad. My original plan was to go to veterinary school. My bachelor's degree is in biology with a minor in English literature. But I get way too emotionally attached way too quickly, and realized that I would be sad and upset just so often if I did become a veterinarian, so I ended up not doing that. But animal medicine and animals in general are still one of my great loves. I love animals so much. Anything that has to do with veterinary medicine, I am instantly interested in, like it instantly gets my attention. So this one looks really cute, and it was part of the summer sale, and so now I have it. Then this one I don't think is a one-shot. I'm pretty sure that it's the first in a series because the listing had the number 1, but there's no number on the actual book. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be a series. But this one is a light novel. It's called Mia and the Forbidden Medicine Report by Fumi Yamamoto with illustrations by Nitaka. So there is the cover. Writing a report has never been more exciting. During an age of magic, Mia Bauman is born in a prosperous country where the greatest fear is illness. Ever since her sick mother was wrenched away from her and locked behind the walls of the sanatorium, Mia fought to get accepted by the prestigious Royal Academy as a pharmacology student in order to find a cure for her disease. Demon Claw and Angel Tears are the two malevolent diseases that ravaged Isaiah Kingdom after they conquered the small island nation of Radius. The first is highly infectious, and its victims are quarantined. The second drives mages insane. After admission to the academy, the unthinkable happens. Mia forms a cross-department research team with the nobleman law student Felix, the valedictorian medical student Henrik, and the bear-like mage Matthias. However, there are others who will do anything to stop the team from discovering the dark secrets behind these two diseases. Find out if Mia will stand her ground despite bullying, isolation, and magic attacks, to unveil the deeply hidden truth in this mystery shoujo light novel. So yeah, I just think it sounds really fun. Again, it's dealing with medicine, this time human medicine, but magic human medicine, and I like a good academic setting and a little ragtag team, so I think I'm really going to enjoy this. It's really short, and like I said, online, it listed this as the first in a series. Whether that's true, I don't know, because there's no number on the book, but I guess I'll find out. Then the last 3 books that I got from Crunchyroll in August were actually like a bundle, and they're the 3 first light novels in a series called Onmyoji and Tengu Eyes by Yoshiko Utamine. So this is book 1, The Spirit Hunters of Tomoe. Book 2, Hide and Seek in the Wintry Mountains. And book 3, The Call of the Roaring Waves. So this is a series that I have been interested in since the first volume came out. And so when I saw that they had the bundle, which made it not just was it like the sale prices, which were cheaper than the normal sale prices, but with the bundle, it was cheaper than even the sale prices of buying them separately. So really cool. But yeah, so I'm really excited to try this. I'll just read the synopsis for the first book. A supernatural mismatch made in heaven. Paranormal incidents heat up when 2 mysterious men cross paths in Tomoe, a small town in Hiroshima, or Tomoe, a small town in Hiroshima with a long history of supernatural encounters. Misato Miyazawa is a strikingly beautiful young man with a troubled past. Born to a distinguished family of Onmyoji, specialists in divination, Misato is no stranger to the occult. That's why he jumps at the chance to join the Abnormal Disaster Unit in Tomoe's Town Hall Crisis Management Division, a unit more commonly known as the Spirit Hunters. Enter Ryoji Karino, a fiery, handsome man with peculiar green and silver eyes. Working as a freelance monk and raised by a man claiming to be a Tengu, Ryoji is by no means an average citizen. When he finds Misato in a sticky situation, he kindly steps in, and the mismatched pair end up living together. What dark mysteries will unravel before them as they attempt to confront paranormal happenings under the constraints of government rules. So, I've mentioned before, with another light novel series, I really like Japanese folklore and legends, and I think that that's going to be really heavy in this series. So I'm really excited for that. We have this pairing who maybe are not supposed to work well together, but who I'm assuming will be like the dream team. So I'm really excited to try this. Also, if you can hear classical music playing very faintly, my dog is terrified of thunderstorms and classical music calms her down, so my mom probably has some playing downstairs. I think I can hear violins, so. Okay, so this next book is from Dazzling Bookish Shop, or Dazzling Bookish Box and Box? I can't remember. Dazzling Bookish something. I am subscribed to them, so I do occasionally get their monthly boxes. I am unfortunately kind of considering unsubscribing just because they're so expensive. Um, and they're not like illustrated or anything inside to like justify the expense. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but they do have, so what they do is they essentially put alternate dust jackets over the original dust jackets, and they do really nice sprayed edges, but they're quite expensive, and you can only skip like twice in a row. So like you can skip as many times a year as you want, as long as it's never more than twice in a row, if that makes sense. And I don't know, they do some really interesting books, but I just don't know if I can justify the cost of it. But I did get this one. I can't remember what month this was, if it was June or July, but it is The Ghost of Us by James L. Sutter. And so this is the exclusive alternate dust jacket, which is so cute. The little fist bump on the spine. Oh, and then the sprayed edges. And then it does have, like I said, the original dust jacket underneath. And it did come with a signed book plate. Kara is an aspiring ghost hunter, determined to show she's more than a high school outcast by finding proof of the supernatural. Then she stumbles upon the spirit of Aiden, a popular boy who died a year ago. Yet Aiden has his own plan to help his reclusive sister Meredith recover from his death, and he's decided Kara's the girl for the job. Kara agrees to ask Meredith out in exchange for Aiden helping her prove there's life beyond death. No dates, no ghost. Wooing the standoffish Meredith isn't going to be easy, however. With Aiden's coaching, Kara slowly wins Meredith over, and finds herself really falling for her in the process. But as Meredith gets happier and Aiden's mission nears completion, his ghost begins to fade. Can Kara carry on dating and deceiving Meredith, or will she have to give up the ghost? So this one sounds like it's going to be kind of heavy in a way. It sounds funny, and like it's going to be really fun and lighthearted in a lot of ways, but also kind of heavy because Kara, I'm guessing our redhead, since she's fist bumping our ghost, is probably developing this relationship, this friendly relationship with Aiden, and they're becoming friends. And so she's going to have to choose, because if Aiden's mission is complete, then he will supposedly move on. So is she going to do what Aiden wishes and follow her feelings with Meredith? Is she going to resist because she doesn't want to lose Aiden? Can she justify not telling Meredith that her brother is still around? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be really, like, there are going to be some hard choices and hard topics that need to be discussed in here. Maybe about grief and losing someone and knowing you're going to lose someone in the case of Kara and Aiden. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. Well, I say fun. I think it's going to be a good time. None of these are the right way to say this. I think it's going to be a good book. How about that? I do think that it's going to be a good book. And I do really love this dust jacket a lot. Then I had 2 pre-orders come in from LitJoy Crate. So the first one is the first Fablehaven book by Brandon Mull. I don't know how well you can see the details. This is like a naked hardback. I think it's maybe leather bound. It feels leather bound, but it's got gilded edges. It has pretty illustrated end papers. Hold on. It is signed by the author, and it is illustrated by Brandon Dorman. And then we have the back end papers. So I've never read oh, and it's got a ribbon bookmark. I didn't even notice that before. I've never read Fablehaven before, so I'm excited to read it. I know there's not a synopsis on this book, but I know that it's about some kids who find like a magical land, or magic, like a place where magical creatures live, like a sanctuary for them, something along the lines. I never read it as a kid. I had never actually heard about it as a kid. So I'm really interested in this, and I love those types of middle grade stories. They're just so precious to me, because that was me as a kid, was looking for fairies in the woods and building fairy houses and looking for strange footprints in the mud and all of that. So that was really me as a kid. So these stories to me are very special, and I'm very excited to get to try a new one. And this next one is so pretty. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I've never read this book, but this author, I love this author. And I've been wanting to read this particular work of his for so long. And I'm just going to show you the slipcase first. Look at it. Look at that. Oh my gosh, is that not like one of the prettiest things you've ever seen? And it opens like a real wardrobe. So the book that I'm talking about is The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. So let me just get it out of here. So here we have the book. It is a naked hardback. This is a LitJoy Crate special edition. We have sprayed edges. It's got a blue ribbon bookmark. Beautiful end papers. Look at that. And who is it illustrated by? Nick Henderson. So it is illustrated by Nick Henderson. And it just is so pretty. I am going to be honest. I cannot give you a synopsis for this book. I have a general idea of it. I think it deals with grief, I think, but I love Neil Gaiman, and so many people talk about how much they love this book and how it made them cry, and I'm ready. I'm ready to cry at it. This edition is gorgeous. It's so pretty, and Neil Gaiman, I love him so much. I've read, well, Good Omens is one of my favorite books of all time, and that's by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I also absolutely adore Neverwhere. It's wonderful. And The Graveyard Book. So I'm trying to read more and more Neil Gaiman, and this is the next one that I have. LitJoy Crate is amazing. They're beautiful. Just like, who thinks of this? Who thinks of making the slipcase for a book like this? It's just incredible. So I'm so excited to have this. Okay, and I almost forgot to show you Dazzling Bookish shop or box or whatever it's called. I genuinely can't remember right now, but they always send like a little charm of some sort with their books. So this is the one for The Ghost of Us. And it is double-sided. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, so then the last 5 books that I have are all secondhand books, but like I'll explain. So, and they're all books that I actually already have editions of as well. So the first 2 books I got on Mercari. I've never used Mercari before for anything, but I saw this listing and I almost cried because it was so affordable compared to every other listing for this book. So I got it. So as I mentioned earlier, The Goblin Emperor is one of my favorite books of all time. And I was able to get a copy of the Broken Binding edition of the bind-up of The Witness for the Dead and The Grief of Stones, which are the first 2 books in the Cemeteries of Amalo, which is the sequel series to The Goblin Emperor. So they're the second and third books in the Chronicles of Ozrath. But I was not able to find a copy of the Broken Bindings edition of The Goblin Emperor because they were sold out at the Broken Binding, and finding them online was difficult, and every time I did, they were super expensive. So then I saw this listing on Mercari, and it was cheaper to get this than any other listing I had seen for this edition of The Goblin Emperor. So first of all, it actually came with the bookmark from the Broken Binding. And it came with both The Goblin Emperor and the Cemeteries of Amalo bind-up. And yes, I already have this, but it was cheaper to get this listing than any other listing for just this book that I saw. So why would I pay more to get this by itself when I could pay less and actually get 2 books? So that's what I did. And now I have a dilemma because these 2 have matching numbers. They're numbered and they match. That one that I already have doesn't match, but I'm kind of attached to it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. That's a decision for Aubrey of the future. For right now, I just have 2 copies of it. But let me just show you. So here is The Goblin Emperor. I just cannot believe I have this. I honestly thought it might just be a pipe dream to ever get this, unless like I become rich one day or something crazy. But yeah, I'm just so happy. And then we have the naked hardback. It has the same image on the back. And then we have the map as our end papers. And the same at the back. And It is signed by Catherine Addison and numbered up there at the top. So this is 1297 out of 1500. And again, this edition of The Witness for the Dead has a matching number. So, like, I have to keep them together. I have to. I can't separate them. They belong together. So, here is the bind up of The Witness for the Dead and The Grief of Stones. So these are the only two books that are already out in the Cemeteries of Amalo. There is a third one coming out at the beginning of next year. I'm super excited. And then here is the naked hardback. And then again we have the map as our end papers, and it is signed and numbered with a matching number to that copy of the Goblin Emperor. So yeah, I have two of these now, but that is what it is. I'm not mad about it because, again, I saved money on, I mean, it was cheaper than listings for just that book, so I had to do it. And I'm really happy to have that copy of the Goblin Emperor now because I honestly wasn't sure I was ever going to get one, so I'm very excited. And then the last three books in this haul all came from Pango Books. And again, they're books that I already own copies of. I actually already own these editions, but I got these because if you remember from July's book haul, I ordered some dust jackets from an artist I follow on Instagram. Their handle is LL Starcaster LL, all one word. And I found some used paperbacks on Pango for these dust jackets. So the first ones that I ordered were a set for the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. And my orders from Pango, only books 1 and 3 had come in so far. So now, books 2 and 4 have arrived. And those are The Dream Thieves. So I'm just going to show you the dust jackets. Look how pretty. And these are just the standard paperbacks, the standard US paperbacks, I should say, which again, I already own editions of. But I wanted to get copies to put these pretty dust jackets on. And then book 4, The Raven King. They're so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love their art so much. I will say, I do wish that they had put some sort of like marking, maybe on the inside of the dust jacket for where to fold, because you kind of had to measure it out on your own, and these paperbacks are not very floppy, so trying to fold it out and measure it was difficult. And I actually kind of messed up on this one. You can't really tell unless you're looking for it, but I had to like refold it because it didn't fit properly. That was my bad, but I do wish that there were some kind of guidelines there on the actual dust jackets. But the Raven Cycle I've talked about before. We follow Blue Sargent, who she is a member of a family of psychics. Every woman in her family has psychic abilities except her, although she is able to make other psychics' abilities stronger with her presence. And at the beginning of the first book, she is helping her aunt with a ceremony where they can see like an image of every person who's going to die in their town within the next year. And she happens to see a boy in a uniform for the local prep school, the local like private academy. It's not really a prep school. Agliambi Academy, whose mascot is the Raven, and so the boys who go there are known as the Raven Boys. And Blue also has a prediction hanging over her head that she got when she was younger, that if she falls in love with someone, whoever her true love is, if she kisses him, it will kill him. And so one day Blue meets 4 boys, 4 of the Raven Boys. We have Gainsey, Ronan, Adam, and Noah, and she recognizes one of them. And she finds out that they are searching for a dead Welsh king who, if you find his body, will give you a wish, because he's not actually dead. He's actually in an eternal slumber. So this series is great. It's got like southern kind of gothic vibes. We have this ragtag group of kids, teenagers, with weird like Celtic Welsh forests and like legends, and we have ley lines and psychics, and it's so fun. It's so just deliciously odd. I love it. It's one of my favorite series ever. So I love these dust jackets. Like I said, I love this person's artwork. I actually have a standee by them that I got from Fay Crate that they designed of Neil Jawson and Andrew Minyard, not Aaron, Andrew Minyard, wrong twin, but of Neil and Andrew from All for the Game by Nora Sakovic, which if you've seen my bookshelf tour, you'll have seen it. I love it. It's so cute. I love the way that they design these characters. And then I also got one final book. It is another book that I got from Pango because I got this dust jacket from that artist. So again, their handle is LL Starcaster LL if you'd like to check their art out on Instagram. And they do only open up their shop, I think, at certain times. So you'll have to keep an eye out for that. But I love their art. But this is, again, one of my favorite books of all time that I collect multiple editions of, and I already have this US paperback, but I got another used copy for really cheap because I needed to put this dust jacket on it. And that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Look at them. Look at it. Oh, it's so pretty. Yep, I love it. So if you don't know The Song of Achilles, it is a retelling of the stories of Achilles and Patroclus from Homer's The Iliad. That's really all I need to say. She does take the interpretation of them being in a romantic relationship, and we follow them from when they are children to the Battle of Troy and all that that entails. So yes, I love it so much, and I'm so happy to have this beautiful, beautiful dust jacket of them. They look so pretty. Alright, so that's everything, all of the books that I got in August, sort of. There are a couple of books that I got at my local library's sale, so they have like a Friends of the Library sale where they like bring in and rotate books and stuff, and I did get some from there, but they're currently in the freezer. But just like in case there's any kind of mold or anything that I just can't see, any kind of anything like that, stick it in the freezer for a couple weeks. That's what you should do with used books. Put it in a bag, tie it up, put it in the freezer for a couple weeks, then lay them out on the floor. Let them thaw out for a bit before you put them on your shelves. So yeah, those are in the freezer, so you won't see those until my September haul. But other than that, that is everything that I got in August, so that's the end of this haul. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear what books you got in August, or if you are getting any books or looking forward to any that are coming out soon, or if you now are excited about any of these that I showed you, if they sound interesting and you want to check them out, or if you've read any of these and you want to like hype me up for them and make me more excited to read them. I would love to hear your thoughts. Just please keep them spoiler free. But I love talking to you guys down in the comments. I really do. It makes me so happy. If you'd like to leave an emoji, what do we want to do? Let's do a little cloud of your choice in honor of the thunderstorm that's brewing outside. But yeah, if you want to leave the emoji with your comment, or if you just want to leave a comment and you don't know what to say, you can just pop an emoji down there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are having a wonderful day or wonderful night wherever you are, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye! Zella, sit, 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 sit. Good girl, good girl. You ready? On it. Alright, bring it here. Come on. Good girl. Let me see it. Let me see it. Can I have it? Zella. Hi, honey. Ha 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 ha. Ah. You ready? You ready? Sit. 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 Good girl. Sit. Go get it.